Thank you, Ioannis, for the presentation. And you've been doing a great job answering questions right in the chat bot. So I have a question from my side. You've been mentioning something very interesting about how organizational metrics impact code quality. And I'm working for Facebook now, and our teams are spread all around the world. And I don't see how we can localize project development into one areas in some cases. What would be your suggestion for teams who are already spread all around the world? And how can we make our code quality potentially better by localizing, or what are your suggestions around that area for global teams?
Yeah, it's all about setting the right boundaries around features and having each team own a feature so that you don't have a lot of teams from different geographic locations, from different countries and different time zones, all of them working on exactly the same feature. Because as explained, communication is a challenge in this case. So the ideal case here would be to have each team focus on a given feature. You can have a shared code base and have the team look at the other team's code base and make suggestions and contribute. But what we should have in mind is that in that case to keep the open source model where you have committers that need to perform careful code reviews of the changes performed in their code base and be really strict about what gets committed, what gets merged to the main branch.
I like that idea. On my previous company, I've been opening. My company was based in the Netherlands, and I've been opening office in Ukraine. And at the first half a year, it was a challenge. Communication was a challenge, and by introducing strict code reviews and strict cross-office reviews when the code written in the Netherlands is being reviewed in Ukraine, help us to share this knowledge in between parts of the team. So that's a great suggestion.
Thank you.
I also liked your notion of 80-20, the 20% of the code need to get 80% of the attention. And you mentioned some tools that we may use to find this 20% of the most important code. But what's your opinion when we have to refactor other part of the code? Where should be the boundary? This 20% of the most important code we have to cover with tests. There is no questions about that. What about other 80%? How to find the boundary on those other 80% of the code for the case that at some point we will most likely need to refactor that code to improve architecture, to add new features, tons of reasons. So how we can find this sweet spot of amount of tests?
It's not us, it's our customers that will indicate what is the 20%. The 20% are actually the most successful features that our customers use all the time and then demand more and more enhancement requests to be implemented. In the same way, our customers implicitly define the other 80%. These are the features that are not really used. So depending on the resources we have and the effort we can spend, of course, it's not prohibited to cover the other 80%. The motivation for me to give this presentation is to present what we can do as software developers by using the limited time that we have and the limited effort we have in order to have a maximum impact and deliver the best results that we can. So take this as a realistic approach. In an ideal world, yeah, we would also go for the 80%. We all want to have a clean code everywhere and be proud of all of our code base. But, each time has 24 hours. And that's a fact. We have a limited time in our hands, and we need to pay attention to what really matters.
Yeah, that's true. The perfection is the greatest enemy of getting things done.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ioannis. we run out of time, but I'd like to get from you, like, what is the single thing that people should remember from your talk? Like, what is the most important takeaway? Like, if you can summarize it in 30 seconds, we can wrap up on that one.
Yeah, that the most important thing is that you as a developer, we as developers can make a great difference in improving the software quality just by following some practical rules, just 5 practical rules. And the most popular, I would say, saying is the one that if it ain't broken, don't fix it. So this is what you need to remember. You don't have to clean code that works. Just leave it as it is.
Love it. Like, don't fix not broken stuff. Thank you, Ioannis. On this note, we're gonna move slowly to the next speaker, our next presentation, and our last talk of the day. And that's gonna be from Anton Murayev, the CTO of Wormsoft, and he's gonna share his view on migration from REST to GraphQL APIs. Ioannis, it was a pleasure talking to you, and thank you for your presentation.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.